days are never ending, when the nights are feeling lonely, there's a place that I can go, where the birds are free to roam, in the sky, flying high, over fields of green, and where the stars inside the sky, we're the last ones shining bright, pushing through the storm tonight, we'll be burning on and on and on. We're the stars inside the sky, we're the last ones shining bright, pushing through the storm tonight, we'll be burning on and on and on.
Hello Aries, this is Inspire 2016 with your weekly tarot reading for the week commencing the 9th of December until the 16th of December 2019. The first card for you is representing, how do you feel about yourself? Your card is the Six of Swords. You need to make a regretful transition, as a likely result of the decisions you make. You know that in order to move forward, you must leave something important behind, and while you do this with some regret, you know that in the long term it is the best option for you. There are times when you will be forced to let go of something to which you have been attached, and the process of letting go is often quite challenging. However, the sadness of your loss will soon be replaced by greater clarity, bringing about a renewed acceptance of change. Do not be afraid to let go of whatever it is that is holding you in the present or the past. Instead, look to your future and choose the best option that has the greatest long-term potential. There are going to be some hard decisions and some compromises that you will need to make, but this is ultimately a rite of passage that will take you into a new phase of your life. You need to realize that you are now headed towards a much better position in life. You have endured, or are currently enduring, a difficult life transition, but as a result, you will be more able to deal with what may come. Do not dwell on the past or what you have left behind. Instead, use this as an opportunity for changing your beliefs about yourself, moving away from whom you used to be and towards whom you really want to be. Sometimes the only way to solve life's problems is to leave them behind you and go somewhere new to start over. While it may feel as though you are giving up or being a coward, escape is often the only approach left when all others have failed. The important thing now is that you chart a new course that will lead to greater happiness and joy. The Six of Swords also shows the need to draw upon a state of mental clarity, logic and objectivity in order to examine where you have been and where you are going. This mental clarity will also serve to smooth the way ahead, and make the passage from negative to positive as peaceful as possible. You can use your intuition to guide you through easy situations and call upon your impartial and analytical nature when it is needed for a more complex decision. The second card for you is representing, what do you want most right now? Your card is the Two of Swords. What do you want most right now is clarity of the overall situation. You are currently being faced with a difficult decision, but you are attempting to hide from it and pretending to yourself and others that if you ignore the decision long enough, it will go away of its own accord. However, the decision will not go away simply by your willing it to depart. Your conscience will eventually force you into facing your refusal to deal directly with the situation. The Two of Swords therefore serves as a reminder that life's decisions are frequently quite difficult and raise the possibility of painful consequences. However, you must take the bull by the horns and make your decisions with your best intentions, fully aware of the possible consequences. Avoidance will ultimately lead to a greater conflict. The blindfolded woman in this card is also an indication that you lack the information you need to make the right decisions at this time. You may be missing something, such as threats or potential risks. alternative solutions, or key pieces of information. Once you are able to remove your blindfold and see the situation for what it really is, you will be in a much better position to determine your path forward. Research your options more widely, seek outside opinions and feedback, and ask yourself what you are missing here. Why is this decision so challenging to make? What extra information do you need? The Two of Swords often represents a stalemate where there is no winner or loser. You may be at loggerheads with another person and failing to see each other's points of view. What is needed is a truce, where you either agree to disagree or you seek to understand each other's points of view before coming to a final solution. Thus, not only does this card represent potential conflict through a stalemate, it also represents making peace through a truce. Similarly, the Two of Swords can reflect indecision and being at an impasse with regards to an important matter. Again, there is only so much that you can try to put off. At some point or another, you are going to have to make a decision or have a point of view in order to get things moving again. The third card for you is representing your fears. Your card is the Eight of Wands. You are afraid of making mistake and fatal failures both in your work and personal relationship life. Despite having a lot of energy and enthusiasm to progress things forward, you are now being faced with multiple obstacles in your course. This is incredibly frustrating and you may be growing increasingly impatient by the day. Keep looking for alternative ways around the obstacles presented so that you can carry out your plans. On the flip side, the Eight of Wands suggests that you are charging ahead with an ideal plan, but you need to slow down and consider your next steps before continuing. You may be missing something in your haste and prone to making mistakes. Similarly, this card can be a sign to hold off your activities for a short amount of time until the situation becomes more stable and predictable. You may also be prone to having many ideas at the one time and not knowing which to pursue and when. Just as you get started on implementing one idea, another one comes to mind and you quickly switch your focus. The trouble is that with this approach, you never actually accomplish anything because you are jumping from one idea to the next without finishing any of them. The fourth card for you is representing what is going for you. Your card is the Nine of Swords. Your experience of the world is greatly influenced by our expectations, desires, and fears, and therefore you are largely the creator of your own world, and your attitudes determine how you experience that world. The Nine of Swords can also reflect fear of the future, or what may possibly happen in the future. If you allow yourself to be bound by fear of the future, you are at risk of eventually creating a negative reality for yourself by virtue of your expectations. Your nightmare becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy, which is clearly not a desirable outcome. Generally, this card is an indication that you are worrying excessively about a situation. You are literally being kept up at night because you are so anxious about a particular issue. It is possible you are working yourself up unnecessarily, and, if you were to look at the situation more objectively, you may come to realize that it is not as bad as you are making it out to be. In fact, all that worry and despair is what is making it worse, so rather than fretting about it, do something to change it. Although most people experience fear, frustration and uncertainty at some point in their lives, you should not allow those negative emotions to immobilize you or keep you from pursuing your goals with enthusiasm and hope. Expect at least some level of uncertainty in the future, and draw upon your inner strength to remain as flexible and adaptable to that uncertainty as possible. The Nine of Swords can also indicate that you are being incredibly hard on yourself, putting yourself down or engaging in negative self-talk. For every mistake you make, You blame yourself and become worked up and angry at yourself for messing up again. So, ask yourself why you are being so hard on yourself. How are you putting yourself down, or what is the source of your depression? What can you do to make yourself feel better? The fifth card for you is representing what is going against you. Your card is the Ten of Pentacles. You are afraid of financial loss, problems with investments, and lack of resources. Despite a lot of time and effort, there seems to be many limitations to future success as a result of a poor foundation. In some cases, this card represents the problems of money, such as fears about finances and quarrels over property, as finances become an impediment to the enjoyment of life. It could indicate that you are beset with financial burdens and responsibilities. In a relationship reading where the relationship is relatively new, the Ten of Pentacles suggests that while you are keen to progress this relationship further, you are still not 100% sure that it has potential for the long term, and you may be questioning whether your partner is truly husband, wife material or not. You may be looking for a long-term relationship, but you are unsure that your partner is going to be the one who will provide that long-term commitment. Similarly, if you are single, the Ten of Pentacles suggests that you are looking for a fun relationship at this stage, not anything more committed than that. You would prefer something that is just casual but still secure enough to know that you are a couple. The last card for you is representing the likely outcome that you may have. Your card is the Five of Cups. This is the time for letting go of the past and learning from your mistakes. This card can often reflect a person who is caught up in the past and unable to move on, missing out on new opportunities. Bitter memories from the past continue to bother you, and often a great deal of the blame for past actions is placed on yourself and your inadequacies. To some it would seem that there is no way out of this situation, but the tarot always shows problems on one hand and solutions on the other. Forgiveness and the ability to recover after emotional loss are necessary. If you are feeling disappointed by another person's actions, and then find it within your heart to forgive that person, releasing yourself from the disappointment. You may also need to reassess your expectations that have led you to this disappointment. Were you expecting too much? Remember, too, that hindsight is much clearer than foresight, and present-day wisdom is gained from the mistakes of the past. Reflect on what led you to this point and understand what important lessons you can take from the experience. Even when things go pear-shaped, there is always something positive that can be gained by reflecting on the lessons learned. While it is true that much has been lost, there is still a ray of hope, because some of the cups in this card remain full and upright. You must not pity yourself when you find yourself in his situation. Instead of looking at the situation from a glass is half empty perspective, look at it from a glass is half full perspective. Last but not least, the guidance card for you is the Fire Fairy. The Fire Fairy sparks ideas into action. She rules the flame of creativity and encourages you to move quickly. She is also the voice of happy optimism, showing you signs, signals, and omens to support your dreams. The Fire Fairy gives you hope and courage and ensures that your dreams will come true if you simply act on them. When the Fire Fairy appears on your path, she gives you a gift, a magical sense of energy to help you complete any idea you have that serves the greater good. She signals positive outcomes for your efforts. The Fire Fairy brings you another gift, illumination. When you're in the dark about something, the Fire Fairy lends you her light so that your path will be filled with illumination. All things come to light quickly when the Fire Fairy appears.
I hope that you enjoy everything, and if you like the reading, just please click subscribe, and you will get instant notifications every time we publish a new video right to your YouTube. Thanks.